Welcome back everybody to another MOTOBOB video, and today Indian announced their full lineup for 2022. Now there are no big surprises here, but pretty much all of the bikes get some new paint options. So in this video I thought I'd run through them all and we'll go in price order ascending, because you know these big American tourers can get a little spendy. First up, and the entry point into the Indian lineup, is the Scout. It's surprisingly lively for a cruiser like this, and it makes a decent peak power figure of 100 horses. That's because it's a liquid cooled V-twin, so it can rev up a little more than an air-cooled equivalent, and it makes that peak power at 8,100 RPM. Honestly, it's a proper fun bike to ride and makes a great choice if you're thinking of jumping over to a cruiser but you don't want to sacrifice some of that top-end fun if, for example, you're used to riding sportier bikes. For 2022, it's still available in metallic black, but there's now also a maroon metallic and a silver quartz metallic over black metallic. My pick would be the maroon for that iconic Indian look. If the Scout is a little too traditional looking though, then fortunately the Scout Bobber is on hand. It's essentially the same bike, but with a more modern appearance owing to the blacked out components, single seat bobber setup, the headlight nacelle, and some chunkier looking cast wheels. Personally, this is the one I'd go for. I just love the styling on this bike. So for this model year, again, you can still get it in black. There's Alumina Jade Smoke and Maroon Metallic Smoke both carried over, and then the brand new option is the Titanium Metallic, and I reckon that's the one for me because it'd match my super cool Volvo. Now look, if you still can't decide and you actually want a compromise between the old school and new, then at the top of the Scout range sits the Scout Bobber 20. It's very similar to the Scout Bobber, but you get some super cool retro looking spoke wheels and a pair of mini 8 bars for that boss-like laid back riding position. Now I must say that one of the shortcomings of the Scout Bobber is the comfort levels. It's fine for a short blast, but with that reach down to the bars, it's probably not an all-day cruiser, especially if you're a bit stiff. And so if that's a concern for you, then this might be the bike to go for. In terms of colours, you've still got the black and stealth grey, but also this year a silver quartz metallic, which certainly brightens things up a little. Now around this price point you'd have the FTR lineup, so the base FTR, the FTR Rally, FTRS, and the Super Bling R Carbon, but there are no colour updates to speak of for 2022, and so they don't qualify for this list. I'll just mention them in passing. Same for the Chief lineup, that had a major update for this year, so no need to give it a fresh coat. I have, however, been lucky enough to ride both those bikes, so I'll link to the reviews in the description in case you haven't seen them already. Now look, it's a bit of a jump up in price now as we get to the heavyweight bikes in their lineup. This one's the Springfield Dark Horse at £22,395. Now like the Chiefs, it's powered by their big old air-cooled Thunderstroke engine, so 116 cubic inches or 1,890 cc's for those of you that only speak metric. The result is a whopping 171 Newton meters of peak torque right down at 3,000 RPM. So it's a big, lazy cruising style bike with that proper classic silhouette, including plenty of luggage capacity. This one's the Dark Horse version, so more stealthy and modern looking, and for 2022 it'll come in black smoke again, or there's an all-new quartz grey, which I think is rather fetching. The Springfield also comes in the more chromed out standard version for a little more of that traditional vibe, but there are no paint updates here, so just the same maroon metallic over crimson metallic and black metallic over dark tan. If you'd like a bit of wind protection, then the Chieftain is basically the same bike, but with a big old fairing to keep you warm and snug. You get an electric power windscreen too, and there's also enough space in that cockpit for a decent TFT dash, so you get their ride command system and also support for Apple's CarPlay. This one comes in black smoke again, but also you get the new quartz grey that we saw on the Springfield Dark Horse. Now for a little more shininess and bling, there's the Chieftain Limited for a few £100 extra, and this one for 2022 is only available in that new quartz grey finish. Another £700 up the range, and we're getting into the serious money here at basically 25 grand, and this one's the Challenger. It's basically like a more performance orientated take on the bagger format, so it gets their more revvy liquid cooled Power Plus engine. There's also a 6-axis inertial measurement unit, so you get lean sensitive rider aids, as well as some serious looking radially mounted Brembo brakes. Now this is the limited version with of course the obligatory black metallic, but also a new maroon metallic option. The Challenger also gets the Dark Horse treatment, and this one comes in black smoke, and then the new option is Indy Red over black metallic. I really like this one. It's probably the most bold finish of the lineup, so it's good to see something a little different than the usual 50 Shades of Grey, which for the record I haven't read. Now we're on to the big daddies with all the luggage and the comfortable amenities with the Roadmaster lineup. So you get the Thunderstroke engine, the big TFT screen with CarPlay, proper plush seats, 137 litres of luggage space, premium built-in audio, and of course the power windscreen. The base Roadmaster remains unchanged in either black metallic or maroon metallic over crimson metallic. The Dark Horse at an extra couple of £100 also comes in black, as well as a new quartz smoke. And then the super bling range topper and the most expensive bike in this list is the Roadmaster Limited, and that's unchanged this year in crimson metallic. In fact, the only bike that could beat it would be the recently announced Jack Daniels edition of the Challenger. I couldn't find it on their UK website, so maybe it's a US model only, and to be fair, it is limited to just 107 units, but the US price of $36,999 converts roughly to £27,092.25. It has to be said, it's a rather fancy looking machine. So if you haven't seen it already, here's my full rundown for you to watch right now.